Hi, my name is Ashley, and I am a 3-time surrogate with We Chose Surrogacy, and this is my husband.
Hi, my name is Ryan. I'm an IT support engineer for the state of Idaho, and I help take care of our son.
The motivation to be a surrogate was we have a couple who
Mutual friend.
They struggle, and pregnancy came so easy for me. And seeing them, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like that is so heartbreaking, because I'm like, how is it fair that I got to be pregnant so easily and they can't? And I'm like, I want to help. I want to give back. Like, I didn't mind being pregnant. So of course we're talking about like surrogacy. And then I was scrolling on Facebook one day and GSHC popped up and I was like, hey, I think this is a sign. That ad popping up was the sign of like, we should do this. We should really help out another family. And so we took the opportunity.
Yeah, and I didn't have any hangups when we went into it. So, I mean, I was curious about the whole process and how that went in, because I knew nothing about surrogacy going into this. So I was really curious to see how it would work, through the whole process. And I just wanted to be there to support her and helping others and all that. So just like, hey, let's do this.
How surrogacy helped our family is we were able to afford our first home. In that time for us, it was a big deal. Like, oh my gosh, we can get a home for us, like for our family, for our son. I would say after my second journey, we had decided that we wanted to move out of California, and we did it. We were able to have that opportunity and move to another state.
Financial stability too, because
Yes.
we were able to pay things off and get our finances more in order and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just being able to provide that kind of stability, it was never about the money though, but it is a nice part of it to be able to give that to a family, but then the family give back in that way. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that comes to mind the most is just being there for her during the deliveries. When she calls me at, 2:30 a.m. like, hey, I'm in, baby's coming. So just dropping everything and being able to go to the hospital all gowned up, holding her hand while they're C-sectioning her open and everything, and also being kind of the on-deck videographer for taking pictures of the babies and stuff, and just supporting her however I can, and especially with the medications and the injections, because I am not one for needles at all. So that was kind of a big hump for me to get over, was like, I love you. Just giving her that injection. So
Like heavy lifting.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Taking care of our son when I can't carry him or something like that, because he's a big kid.
Just supporting her any way I can, just being the husband that she needs and being able to support her, being the loving partner.
You need a good support system. It's so important. So if you don't have it, you're gonna struggle.
At least a little bit.
Yes. A piece of advice would be just get all the knowledge. Like, you have to know what you're doing. Like, really asking all the questions about everything. Be honest with the agency itself, because any type of medications that you would be taking, like just be upfront and then ask them questions too, because most of them have been surrogates. If you're not honest, then things are going to be really rough on you, especially if you're really wanting to help a family. Commitment is a big thing.
That was going to be my advice, is make the time for the appointments, for the doctors, the everything. Because you missing a appointment for like the clinic or something like that, if you miss a screening or something like that, that puts you so much further behind in the process, and you could potentially upset the IPs and say, well, this is going too slow, especially if they have their own timeline. So when you commit to this, you really got to commit, and you have to make sure that your job is flexible with it, and your family and everybody else are flexible with it. So just really being able to set aside the time to commit to this journey is super important. There's a stigma for like religious reasons and stuff like that, because there's certain people that are like, you're playing God, you shouldn't be able to do this, there's that kind of stigma. But I think after explaining the whole process, because I don't think surrogacy and the process of it is very well known.
Yes.
And after explaining like how it all works, they're kind of more like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And even the whole thing of like other husbands being like, oh, you're carrying someone else's kid, what the heck? It's not like traditional surrogacy. It's like the genetic material and the baby have already been like made, and they're just essentially using your wife more or less to grow the baby. There's no insemination or anything that goes with that. But I think those are probably the two biggest stigmas that stick out to me that I've heard the most of.
A lot of it too for like the surrogate themselves, like how could you just give a baby away? And a lot of it's like, well, that's not my baby. For us, like the biggest thing is, when I've carried for international parents, so baby doesn't look anything like us. So when I had it, like, that's definitely not our baby. Being there in that delivery room and like seeing the baby and stuff like that, we didn't feel that connection. So it made it easier, like, for them to take the baby.
When honestly,
for the
me
parents
too, it was nice to just help a family start a family. It's that joy of like, wow, we helped do this. Like, this is awesome. It was never like you said, it was never like, oh, this is our kid, or like there was none of that. But it was really, for me at least, it was nice to be able to help start a family.
Yeah, but our experience with our own son, it's like, why can't someone else experience that?
Yeah.
GSHC.